Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic, I think it's an exciting one, is we think we have the date. Now, I've got to explain that. Okay, so we think we've got the date, and I think you'll shake your head, yeah. Okay, now first of all, as you know, Donald Trump sued YouTube because they took him off. And they owed him $24.5 million. And part of the deal was, and I haven't read the article on it, but so I don't have all the details, but my understanding is that they're supposed to be putting back a lot of the channels that they deleted, specifically if they were deleted because of over COVID or over the election. Well, Prophecy Club should be one of those. They should reinstate our channel. So may you please request in your prayers that YouTube would reinstate our channel, put it back entirely. All of the 5 years of preaching, all of the 5 years of Prophecy Club programs, our crusades, everything. I mean, they just deleted us. In my opinion, they were out of order and we did not break their rules. But on to the next thing. Okay, so I covered this yesterday. The price of gold has doubled in the last year. Now, what that means is the value of the dollar has gone down. Now, if you have gold and silver, that might mean you're smiling right now. If you don't have any, that means you've lost half of whatever was in that. So my suggestion is that you call 1-800-GOLD or 800-200-4653. Let me back up. 800-200-4653. 800-200-GOLD, especially if you got a pile of money someplace, especially if you have an IRA or a 401k. Okay. No, I do not have a paper directly from Trump giving every planned step of what we think is about to come. But I think, if you'll stay with me today, I think you'll say this is a very informative program. I think that a well-informed prophecy student can get a good idea of what's coming. Well, what is coming that we can use as a sign to let us know it's getting close? In other words, like if you're heading to a big city, you see signs that says, 100 miles, 80 miles, 50 miles, 20 miles to the city. So what are those signs that'll let us know when something's coming? Something we can see something. How do we know? What is a sign that we can count on to tell us something's really coming? One of them is internal revolution. We should be able to see an internal revolution coming, and I think most of the people who follow this program are seeing it. But let me point out something. Part of the prophecy said that some of the people would start fighting against the government. In my opinion, when you've got people shooting at ICE officers, when you got Portland and New York City that are openly fighting against the government, I think that has been fulfilled, and it's going to be more fulfilled. Next thing is the government. We would be able to see the government preparing to fight the people. I'm about to show you some shocking things about that. Military, National Guard, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Memphis, Chicago, Portland are all fighting against the government. Whole cities, whole city fathers. Also, a special grand jury proceedings, this is the big one today, are set to begin January 12th, 2026. What is that? Is that the massive arrest? Well, I can't guarantee it, but probably. Okay, massive arrests? Probably. Now, I'm going to move through this quickly. I asked Grok, what cities have the National Guard in them? Washington, Los Angeles, Memphis, Chicago, Portland. And if you want to pause and read, it's telling you on the right side, they have like 800 troops. The Los Angeles they're at the federal buildings, 150 troops in Memphis, and it goes on down and tells the details. Then I ask it, what cities are resisting ICE arrests? A lot. Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Portland, Boston, Washington, D.C., Denver, San Francisco, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and Seattle. Now, I haven't seen anything about Austin, Houston, San Antonio, or Seattle on at least Fox News. But the articles say they're out there, and this gives like 538 arrests, 1,000 arrests, and like that. Then I asked Grok, what are the arrest stats for Washington, D.C.? Now, we've heard this. 3,500 people arrested in Washington, D.C. 1,000 the first 2 weeks, 300 the first week alone were arrested for immigration violations, and it goes on. You can pause, but I've got other things I got to get to, so I'm going to let you pause and read it. Now, what we're looking for today are 3 dates. November 1, 2025, what happens then? Well, October 31, if the government is still shut down, and I believe they will be. Matter of fact, as I've told you, I don't think the government is going to come back up. Not this government. I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to switch to go to a new constitution. I'll show you. I got it in writing. A new flag. I didn't show you that, but the stars are in a round circle, not lined up. A new name, which is called the Republic of the United States, and President Trump will be the president of that one. That could start with the protests, give us our entitlements November 1. Then January 12, a special grand jury proceedings begin, and that may be associated with massive arrests before, on, or shortly after. Then April 2026, this is some new information. National Guard response. Some 500 troops are preparing to be deployed April 2026. Now, that tells me that we've got some pretty good dates to look at, and we're going to talk about them today. First, give us entitlements. You recall Shane Warren and Chris Reed were both told that they saw people holding up signs, give us our entitlements. As of October 31 is the cutoff, and then as of November 1, people are going to not get their paychecks from the government. I shouldn't even call them their welfare, their handout checks. I looked it up. So what is EBT? Because, I never have got any of these, so I don't know how they work. But EBT is Electronic Benefits Transfer. It's delivering food assistance benefits electronically. It replaces food stamps. You can pause and read the whole thing if you want to. It uses a regular debit card, swipe it, enter a PIN, and deduct your balance. SNAP. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programming. Yes, you can be a member of all 3 if you qualify. And it provides monthly funds to low-income individuals, families to buy food to improve dietary quality. In other words, those 2 are for people that maybe just don't want to work. Now, I understand there's a place for them. I understand that. As a pastor, I've seen people coming to church that were needing help. I remember one specifically. This guy's never going to be able to hold a job because he did too many drugs and his brain is fried. I mean, he even told me, Pastor, I want a job, but I just make too many mistakes. And I've tried all kinds of burger flipping jobs and stuff, low quality jobs, and they fire me a day or 2 and they fire me because I can't do the job. That's right. Drugs fried his brain. Then WIC. Now, this is for women's, infants, and children. This is basically breastfeeding moms to be able to make certain that they have enough money to feed the babies. Those kind of things start getting cut off, and lots of problems are going to hit. Remember, Dimitri Duduman told me that he thought that probably is what would start the internal revolution was when they cut off welfare benefits. Boom. Now, it was a lot of trouble. I've got 3 clips here that one of you sent me. By the way, thank you very much. Thank you for your emails. And this gives you the attitude of a lot of people. Now, we went to a lot of trouble to remove all of the filth because these kind of people have an F-bomb in every other. I started to say every other sentence, but it's more like every other word is an F-bomb. But he's going to say, I'm not working for nobody. In other words, nobody's going to make me go get a job. The taxpayers work for him. In other words, he deserves a free paycheck on the taxpayers' budget. And they got to help me feed my filthy word kids. But look over to the right. These are some of the comments, which I don't normally even bother to read, but these were the comments. There are no words that are appropriate to say for the rage I feel at this entitled POS clowns, I don't know what that means, that need cut off today. They can seek food bank help, but taxpayers should cut them all off. If you can work, you must work, period. All the ones who don't spend it on fatty cakes and soda, sell them Nikes and liquor. Cut off every single one of them. Correct. End EBT. When you need, what you need is a JOB. LMAO, don't know what that is either. This can't be real. Can you confirm, is this guy trolling? Hard to believe anyone could be so devoid of work ethic and self-awareness. On the other hand, maybe that's why he's unemployed. Can we also make it mandatory for EBT card holders to take random drug tests at any given moment, at any given time, that will cipher out more than half of the people to get cut off EBT? Here is him saying it with the cuss words removed.
I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my kids. Get the out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a boss. What the I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to help us? I need my EBT, yo. I need my money, yo.
Here's another guy. He says, I got 5 kids. I deserve a check. Watch.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all.
And here's another person that says, if you don't send me my free money, I'm going to go into Walmart and I'm going to wreck it. I'm going to steal as much as I can. Watch me. I'm going to mess it up. Except for he cusses. Cusses.
You know what? Since they want to take food stamps away, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to rack up anything I want, throw that shit right in the basket. I'm coming right about that move, get the out of my way. I'm not paying for a thing. Y'all got me up. I ain't getting a food stamp on EBT. Oh, watch this. I'm about to, it's about to be some shit.
Again, dates to watch. November 1. Now, I personally don't think that we're going to see many protests November 1. My guess is that they're going to be thinking, oh, well, give it a few more days, maybe give it another week, maybe give it 2 weeks. But by mid-November, we'll probably start seeing some anger. And if they haven't got it fixed, by the end of November, we're going to see there's 42 million people that get a free government handout every month. Then January 12, 2006, that's when the special grand jury proceedings began. And probably, if the massive arrests have not already started, they are going to be starting on about or around January. Now, doesn't that fit what Shane Warren told us? Remember where he said there would be a financial storm, which we are now in. Then in the middle of the financial storm, he saw an earthquake, which, praise God, has not arrived yet, and we don't want it to. And then he saw that because they cut off or they started selling oil in any other currency, which happened June 9th of 2024, then the dollar started falling. And I just showed you that the dollar has fallen by 50% in the last year. So we are in the storm now. It may not feel like it to most people, but to those blessed by God, they might not be feeling like the other people. But then in April 2026, I'm about to show you that they are coming up with a National Guard response force of 500 troops ready for deployment at any moment. Now, do you see something? Look at the dates. November 1, give us our entitlements. We'll start then or shortly after. January 12th, grand jury proceedings. April 26th, National Guard response force. Why? Because holy hell is breaking out all across America, just like the prophets have been telling us. Massive arrests. Here it is. Look at this carefully. Trump administration to establish National Guard response force to be mobilized for mass civil unrest by, there it is, April 2026. A new memo has unearthed showing the Trump administration is preparing to mobilize National Guard troops across the nation by April 26 to stop potential uprisings. Potential? No. He knows. Look, I think but both Schumer and Johnson and Trump, all three of them know that they are not backing up. The government shutdown is not going away. I don't think it's ever going away. I think we will totally switch to a new currency, a new republic, a new constitution, a new president, Trump as the president. I think it's all going to happen. I don't think it's going to fix. Now, I don't have a thus saith the Lord on that. I do not have a prophecy, but I have prophecies saying those things are coming. Anyway, so April 26th, to stop potential uprisings amid the nationwide No Kings protest and violent anti-ICE protests in cities like Chicago. National Guard response will be used to crowd control civil disobedience operations in all states, territories, and 500 troops. They're available within 24 hours. They're trained in non-lethal weapons, including, it'll start with non-lethal. But the first time some of these troops draw blood, and if some American pulled out his shooting iron and shot him, he like Trump is saying, you spit, we hit. So they start killing some of the American soldiers. Soldiers going to fire back, and we are in an internal revolution, just like Dimitri was told. But I can't get anybody to listen to me. Required in all 53 states and territories. The District of Columbia has a unique situation. It goes on to tell you about that. Now, April 2026. Is this planning for what Trump knows is coming? Massive arrests are beginning January 12th. Now, this is the actual article, but I want to take a few minutes and look into the article, so I put it up where it's a little bit more readable. Special federal grand jury quietly impaneled. A special federal grand jury was impaneled at Fort Pierce, Florida, as part of the investigation ordered by U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi into allegations that the Obama administration officials mishandled and manipulated intelligence assets related to Russian interference. In other words, the Russia thing. In other words, they're bringing justice to the unjust. The inquiry stems from claims that senior officials, including Barack Obama, engaged in a conspiracy to try to shut down Donald Trump and his presidency, basically. And so the U.S. District, here it is, for the Southern District of Florida approved the impanelment of this additional grand jury on September 26th. It's already done, with proceedings to begin on January 12th, 2026. What's going on January 12th? Well, I looked it up. That's the second Monday in January. So basically they're saying, let's get through the Christmas holidays, then let's start the mass roundup. Now, do I know that there's about to be mass arrests starting January 12th? No, but it's a pretty good assumption, okay? Now let's go back to this one. This is back in July, but look, this is the warm-up for it. DOJ receives Gabbard's criminal referral on bombshell claims the Obama administration manufactured the Russian collusion hoax. This was the start of it. You can pause and read that if you want to, but basically, they're saying we are going after Obama. See, I don't think the massive arrests are talking about illegal immigrants. I think it's talking about Obama and Clapper and those guys, okay? Wayne Root says, does Trump DOJ have the authority, I'll change a word there, to charge Obama and Hillary with treason? He goes on to say, yep, he believes that they do. So we will soon see. We will soon find out. So Obama and Hillary ordered the CIA and the NSA to spam presidential candidate Trump in order to steal the 2016 election. After Trump's shocking upset victory, they framed him for Russian collusion. See, because they never thought they were going to leave power. They never thought that their power was going to be questioned. So they could do anything they wanted to do. They were in charge of the whole world. But Trump. It appears Obama and Hillary coordinated this coup. He goes on to tell this is what it's really, really all about. Now, let me back up. And I just put this in my own words. And it's taken years of hearing a little bit here, a little bit there, seeing a little bit here and there to put this all together. But apparently, it's called the Elijah Plan. That's what we're looking at. 1963, after the assassination of JFK, the military intelligence knew what really happened. The cabal, the Moloch cabal worshippers, killed another one of our presidents. They decided we got to put a stop to this. We can't let this evil secret cabal of Moloch cabal worshippers kill our presidents as they do around the world in many of the nations, and we just can't let them rule the planet like they want to. So they decided they were going to take back America. They either decided that they could do it from the ground up in a bloody revolution or take the presidency from the presidency down. They decided presidency down. Then they recruited Donald Trump. This may be when he switched from being a Democrat to being a Republican, when they showed him all the evidence of what this evil cabal has done. 2017, November, Sessions hired Utah IG John Huber. He recruited 470 dogged investigators. I talked about it back then. Normally, there's 125 to 350 sealed indictments at any one time across America. A sealed indictment is a pending arrest warrant sealed from the public. He began filing sealed indictments. I heard about this when there was 4,000 indictments. Then it jumped to 10,000. No arrest. 20,000. No arrest. Then the last time I talked about this, it was 506. Here is the actual document that Trump signed that gave them the authority to start researching, investigating, and start filing these sealed indictments. This is the rest of it. You want to pause and read it. But I want to back up. Now, this was several months ago. I want you to look at that little number, 484,000. Then a few months later, it had climbed to 499,000, climbed to 506,000, 513,000. I just pulled this off the internet. It is now 525,000 sealed indictments. 525,000 sealed indictments all across America. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you go there, and I gave you the site on it, if you'll click on some of these, you'll see this is not hocus pocus. Somebody has done a lot of filing to present these kind of figures, these kinds of maps. Click on one of those up there, and you'll see, oh, this is not bogus. There it is, bad-boys.us. Go there, check it out. You'll say, okay, this is real. Now, the point is, there's a lot of people about to be arrested, and I'm not talking about illegal aliens. By the way, I heard that some 2 million illegal aliens have self-deported, and I don't know what the numbers are, how many people have been arrested and deported. I'm going to guess we're probably getting, hopefully, close to 1 million. Anyway, now let's go back to July. There's going to be another drop that is just going to be mind-blowing, okay? This is people that were involved in the Russia hoax, going against Trump, breaking the law, and they're saying in these articles that they're going to round them up. It's time to go after people, Trump says. Calls for Obama's prosecution. He's guilty. That was treason. Obama guilty of treason, says Trump. And this article goes through to tell you about all of the things that they plan. There's a lot. I can't even begin to slow down. Then 11/11/2019, Trump was about to head off to the helicopter. This is in his first term. And the media gathered around him, and this is what he said. I think in light of all the things going on, you know what I mean by that, the fake news, the commies of the world, all the bad things that went on, it's called the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done it but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. What's he talking about? He's talking about now some 525,000 arrest warrants, sealed. Then again, 9/7/24, Mosini, Wisconsin, he said, it will come to an end. It's going to come to an end. The corrupt political class, we're going to restore our republic. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to, once and for all, we're going to get it done. He didn't just say it then either. Here's another one. Watch the red circle. So with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC, the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential elections out, 2020 out, and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type of magnitude allows for the termination of all rules. Let me say that again. Allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. What is he saying? He's saying he is going to throw out all of the rules, including the Constitution. That makes him king, like Nebuchadnezzar, whom he would he slew, whom he would he kept alive, whom he would he lifted up, and whom he would he put down. And that's what Henry Griever was shown. He will have kingly authority. And I don't know that we will ever call him a king, but I think these no kings protests, I think they know something. I don't think it's just foolishness. I think they can see the future, and they can see that he is about to become, or at least have kingly powers. Let's go on. Again, in another interview, they're got to be held accountable. Then, our U.S. Army to control federal land along U.S.-Mexico border. What? Okay. The next 45 days, and I have not been able to ascertain whether it's still there or not, Department will test taking control of a section of the Roosevelt Reservation. What's it talking about? See that red line in the center? All the way from the Pacific, all the way over to El Paso. It's 60 foot wide, and the military controls that. Why is that there? That's not to keep people coming up from Mexico. That's to catch the cockroaches when the lights turn on. The people that are trying to flee to Mexico. See, Texas got it. Okay, they say we got our border covered, but you got to cover that other border over there. So we've got our military. My guess is they're still down there, and they're looking for people about to come across that red line so that they can be caught. My guess is by probably January the 12th, we're probably about to start seeing the massive arrests. And then when the massive arrests start, there's going to be a lot of protests, and then Trump pulls out the 500 quick response team to go out and put a stop to it. A Stryker brigade, more troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, not to keep the illegals out, but to catch the cockroaches running from the light. 4th Military Zone established in Arizona under Marine Corps. This is way back in July. My guess is they're still there. Here's another one, March 23 of 25. It says, consistently credible source for years on election fraud and political money laundering. Military tribunals are coming. Those found guilty are going to be executed. 4 of at least 6 targets. The bad actors of the Russian collusion hoax, those at the national and international levels stealing our elections, a fair number of the CIA, a select few in the military intelligence sectors. It's true about the SCIF that loads evidence being held in it. We caught them all. Now, I'm told the results are coming, meaning tribunals. Not a joke. Not a joke. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. When the suitcase nukes, I didn't say if, I said when the suitcase nukes go off, if you want your car to start, if you want your computers and your refrigerators and things like that, anything with a computer chip to work, you want to have one of these. from EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. And they have videos up there. It takes about 10 minutes to put on. It's not complicated at all. And if you use the word prophecy, promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount, and it helps your prophecy claim.